What's going on, dude? How's it going? Just chilling. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My bad. I was muted. Oh my god. So sorry. Thanks, Fab. Appreciate that. Um, so, welcome to the stream, I guess, now that we don't have technical difficulties. Okay, do y'all hear me now? Okay. Sorry, I'm so sorry about that. I appreciate the heads up, though. I honestly probably wouldn't even notice. I was just saying, thanks for tuning in. This is something I wanted to do, instead of streaming gaming. It's not as fun as doing something I'm more passionate about, which is talking about music, especially with my friend Fabian here. As long as I've known Fabian, we've kind of discussed and listened to music, so it's nice to do something like that. I was just saying, we wanted to start off with this album by Pop Smoke. Just with the timing of it coming out as we started, it just felt cool to start with that one, especially with his passing. You know, he was headed towards big things, so it's nice to talk about that. Uh, Anything you want to say?
Uh, yeah. Not often do you see that like an album. I mean, especially with the passing of most big name rappers, I feel. But not only, I feel like it's mostly rap you see nowadays. You don't really see it happen too many with I mean, because we don't really listen to like anything else besides rap. Um, but for an album to come out so quick, but I think it's also because of the fact that he's been doing stuff for a while that we haven't really seen, and this is well, this was supposed to be his first big album after he popped off. So it's kind of weird to see all this. Basically, this is all the stuff that he's been working on, and stuff that's older that's like just was just thrown in the trash or just left in the recycle bin just to come up later. But yeah, I mean, we just start getting into it.
Yeah, I think we should go over some history leading up to it. I mean, for those of you who don't know, hip hop started in New York, and Pop Smoke was a New York artist, and for a long time, New York was, they had the artists. They had B.I.G., Nas, Jay Z, 50. But in the past few years,
Yep.
it's kind of they haven't been on the cutting edge of hip hop. It's been more, Atlanta with the trap movement of Gucci, Young Thug, Migos. You got West Coast like L.A. popping with Kendrick, YG, Chicago with Kanye, Chance, and even places like Toronto are were kind of leading more than New York was. So we started to see Pop Smoke take some influence from different places, especially with the drill from Chicago, and evolve it with a more Brooklyn sound. And I think that's why so many people were so excited about Pop Smoke was it was a new evolution for New York sound. It was putting them back on the map as like a new hip hop movement, and it's part of why it even hurts more that we kind of were robbed of that in the future. Is that now we don't get that new sound? Because you even hear it on this album, it's not really something we hear too much. Um,
Yeah, definitely. I would say that. I mean, with this album, there's a lot of stuff in it. I mean, especially how big it was. Honestly, I think it was like it felt like the album was going on for hours. Honestly, but it's also you kind of feel of it because Pop Smoke is gone and all that. So for this to be a big one, and especially all the features that are inside of it, which has a good mix of features and just him by himself, but also along with that, a lot of the songs are just using instrumentals from songs I would say from the early 2000s, and it's kind of good to hear that because you can. It just goes to show that like he was using all of his influences, and for them to use instrumentals from like songs that he probably would have listened to growing up as a kid to be rapping it over it on a beat.
Especially with this one, like I expected more of the sound that got him big with Welcome to the Party and his Meet the Woo albums. Like
Yeah,
I
me too.
expected album just full of same sounding songs. And honestly, I still would have looked forward to it because I do like Pop Smoke. But even on this album, it sounded like he himself was headed in a new direction. And on the ones that were
Hmm.
even on, being worked on before his death, like the West Coast, like the ones with Quavo, uh, his flip of Mini Men, it still sounded really good. Like it was a nice, fresh evolvement of his own sound. And I think that's kind of like a huge crappy thing that we're not even going to be able to see that come to fruition. Because it took a lot of influence from, like I said, the Chicago drill music and, even producers that he worked with from the UK. It was going to be like an international kind of change in the sound. And, now we don't really get to hear what that turned into. Um, but I guess we can just start getting into the album, right?
Yeah.
I mean, started off with a. Should we play some in the? Should we play some in the Discord? Like, what do you think?
Uh, yeah, I don't see why not.
All right, let me pull up the track list here so I can figure out. Sorry. I mean, even the intro was short, but I thought it was really good. Do you have any standouts from the album that you really liked, or what were you thinking about it?
Um, Honestly, there's not very many. There's not one song that just stands out to me.
Hmm.
Um, of course, when I was going through the listen through, uh, just him redoing Many Men, kind of like it kind of changed the whole album vibe for me. Not in a bad way. It, I guess you would say it made me think a little bit more or less about how what or who Pop Smoke really is,
Hmm.
honestly, because a lot of artists nowadays, and this is beyond music. mix, and we started making newer types of music. I mean, just looking at all the different types of drill, or trap music. This is everybody has their own special version of a song that or a type of music that originated from one spot. But to go back and have him just like going over like basically going through 50 stuff and all this and that, it kind of like goes back to like, yo, like I'm from New York, basically. That's what he's basically what this. That's what that song made me feel like it was going through.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and let's cue that one up while we're talking about that. We play that because I do think that one was a really good. It's in the middle of the album. I don't know. I feel like we could go in chronological order or just how we're talking about it because I feel like that's a really strong one on the album.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Go ahead and play it a little bit. You guys hear that okay, or is that too quiet?
Look, have mercy on me, have mercy on my soul. Don't let my heart turn cold. Have mercy on me, have mercy on my soul. Don't let my heart turn cold. Have mercy on many men, many men. Wish they for me, yeah, I don't cry no more. I don't look to the sky no more.
That's your favorite? Yeah, I think it's probably one of my top ones too.
I got it on me.
Honestly, it's pretty. I think it's pretty good for the way it started off. It's just like hard hitting. It's like one of those like when you go to the stadium of the football field, all of that. It's like it's just large and all that.
And I think like this was definitely the one I was looking forward to the most because I heard snippets and leaks of it from before even the album came out, and going through forums or whatever, we weren't sure if we were going to hear this one. The beat was sick. I felt it was. Yeah, that's exactly what it was, Josh. Like, it gets you hyped, and then it's a classic flip. Like, it's a 50 Cent song, like the hook. It's a flip, and it modernizes it, I guess. And I think it helps drill in the fact that, I mean, I don't want to call him, a new 50, but I do think Pop was going to be, the new New York face. So, yeah, kind of like a reincarnation of New York, 50 for New York, He was going to...
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He was going to shoot to stardom, and I think we can see that. This one's... I think they said it's on track to sell like 220,000. Like, that's huge for a debut album, So, I kind of sad we're not going to see all that. That's the vibe. Yeah, I think I told you that when I saw you the other day, and it's sad we don't get to see it, just because this song was awesome. Let me turn it back up.
I would say for like a posthumous album, like this is probably gotta be pretty good. Honestly, it doesn't feel like it was just mashed up all together last minute and all that stuff.
Yeah, no.
Like it actually feels like it could have been the final product.
I was a little worried when 50, put his name on it as like EPing it, because you don't know what to expect from someone that just wants to take over control like that, and it could have been just a rush job. So I was really worried for a little bit.
Yeah.
But it did feel like it was put together in like the most respectable way for him. It flowed very well. I do like a lot of these tracks. Some of it's kind of hard to hear, like after knowing what happened to him, especially that "Got It On Me" song where he's saying like "run up on me if you want," and sadly,
yeah,
that's what happened, and so that really sucks to hear. Got major early 2000s, late 90s vibe of how he threw songs together. Yeah, no, I can see that, especially with him flipping stuff, and 50 started to take him under his wing towards the end. So I think another one that stood out for me was someone just joined into. I think another thing that stood out for me was the Woo. I really liked that one. Because that one actually did have 50 and had Roddy Ricch on it.
I think the Woo. I think For the Night and the Woo are probably the top two songs. on the album,
Mhm.
or I would say most popular songs in the album.
Oh, I think those are, yeah, they're probably gonna pop. Um, I think my favorites were the Woo, Tunnel Vision, or Got It On Me. I mean, Tunnel Vision was a crazy outro. Like that was insane. And plus Dior is really good, but that's also been on like two of his other albums, so I don't want to say
Yeah,
that's like a new one, you know. Um, so let me cue up the Woo because that one's really good, man.
and the good thing about this album is that like most of it wasn't as hard hitting because I feel like everybody was, from what they knew of Pop Smoke, that he was just like hard hitting and all that stuff. It's actually pretty smooth on this album too. It was like a good mix of it.
I was very surprised about that. I fully expected an album full of, you know, Welcome to the Parties and Christopher Walken style
Exactly.
songs. But to hear him like switch to this melodic style, like that was, I love
Mhm.
that. I really did like that. And then when you have like Roddy, I mean Roddy Ricch is pretty good melodic.
Yeah.
And then this song even made me want to hear more New 50. Like he still got it. Like I want to hear a new album from him now. So I guess that's also me kind of being
Yeah, no, that's right.
biased because I do like 50. Oh, hey, thanks for the host, Sleazy. Appreciate that. Thanks for helping us out. Vacation in Dubai vibe. Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that, Josh.
Definitely, yeah, I can see that too.
Definitely a Fast and Furious song.
I wouldn't be surprised if this was on the next Fast movie.
Oh, yeah. I think the other one I liked was Enjoy Yourself. With, I think it was Carol G. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
anyone that can mix like some Latin raps into hip hop, it's kind of like a cheat code.
It really is a cheat code, honestly, because anybody. Because I tell you, most people don't even know what they're saying. They're just like, nah, I think.
It's an easy
That
to
motherfucker's
vibe along
spitting.
too, you know.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
I'm trying to remember like the Drake Hispanic song. Like I don't know what you said. It flowed, you know.
No, exactly. I mean, shoot. I mean, Drake, he did Spanish stuff. I think Justin Bieber, he spoke in Spanish in some music too. You know, once you do that, you know, like it's gonna go pretty high. Especially if you're in the summertime. I mean, even though summertime's kind of like not popping out this year, like if you have like Spanish speaking people in your songs, it's definitely gonna start popping like the summertime.
I think that's one of the biggest things about this album is we're not going to be able to see how it performs, you know, outside. You won't be able to see it in the clubs,
Exactly.
in the bars, because there's some songs on here that I think would pop.
Well, the thing with this is like you can still. That's how some songs become classics. Like for instance, Bobby Shmurda. Like we didn't have that many songs. I mean, yeah, we had like a couple albums and stuff like that, but I think there was like 2 or 3 songs that really hit all of us really well. And so those are songs you would hear in the clubs, and that's how you know it's gonna go hard. So I think out of this, there'll probably be a couple songs that it will stick to some people, and next year we'll probably start seeing a lot more of it in the club.
Yeah, and speaking of Bobby, that's something I want to say was like Bobby Shmurda and Rowdy Rebel were also, you know, big New York movements before they got locked up, and
Hmm.
we were kind of robbed of missing them link up with Pop, you know. We saw Pop do a song with Rowdy, and that was really good, but we didn't get to see them actually work together and be a dynamic group that they could have been. Like, not that they would have grouped up, you know, but just the songs they would have done potentially together would have
Just like like a really hard hitting like song with like a ton of features. You know what I'm saying?
even if they didn't work together all that much, just the fact that they would all be doing their own things in New York would have just completely changed how we look at New York as a hip hop kind of city. It just would have been something else. Let's play some more of his actual rapping on here. Let's do Tunnel Vision. I really like that one. For an outro, I thought it was really good.
I'm like, damn, boy, you made it. Yeah. But she said, you ain't nice at all. No, I'm nice. I don't talk to niggas. I
I mean, you can kind of hear that, like, drill influence for sure.
Definitely, it's in the beat. Like this is the I don't know exactly what instrument or what's the sound supposed to be, but it's that one sound that you know it's drill.
Dude, and I don't think people give drill the proper credit and respect it deserves. I mean, I know a lot of people, have been taking influence from it lately, but I mean, Chief Keef helped revolutionize hip hop in the past decade, and no one really sees that.
I think it's just that thing. It's in the background that people who actually listen to music or not music, listen to rap, and that they actually know about it, but they just kind of everybody keeps it in the background. Like it's an open tab that they don't close out.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
I don't talk to niggas. I don't feel these niggas at all. Got 100 round in my pocket, I'm ready to go kill these niggas. And it's tunnel vision. When I'm in the field, nigga. If I tell him like you woo, that he go drill a nigga. I'm a Brooklyn nigga. But shout out my Philly niggas. I don't fuck with a lot of niggas because I'm too real for niggas. They know what it means to have $1 million dreams.
I also liked on the whole album, I just noticed how, like, it almost felt effortless how he kind of rode on any of the beats. His flow, it wasn't the same. Each song kind of felt different.
Oh yeah, each song had a different vibe. Each song, like, especially like with the combination of like the different vibe that Pop Smoke was incorporating into the song, and then each other feature that would be like another. So like each song, there's like just a number of like combinations you could put into like a song. I think it was just all like balanced and put together very well.
Yeah, for sure, and it's something you don't really hear from a lot of people is being able to change, flows and styles that they can do. Most people find their pocket that they're good at, which is not bad. I mean, sticking to your pocket and your lane is good, but some people kind of just beat it to death, and they don't really try to change too much. This album, it felt varied enough for it being like a posthumous album. It felt like it was different enough. It felt good. So I'm very looking forward to, because they announced a deluxe edition with 8 new songs. So I'm really looking forward to that. That would be really good.
Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if there was another posthumous album after this too.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because you would be surprised. You would be surprised the number of verses that some rappers have just in the backlog.
Some people are just on there like constantly grinding, constantly recording. Juice WRLD has like posthumous album coming out tomorrow, because I hear he has like hundreds and hundreds of songs that are just already recorded. I think people would be really surprised, how much people record and just even have half ideas that people can finish for them. I don't know.
I mean, shoot.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, I don't know how much another album would do. Like, I would hope it wouldn't be something that would just be feature heavy, but I also don't see how they could do another album without too many features. I guess it would just be something they would have to kind of be careful with.
If they do another one, it will need to be very meticulous as far as like picking the beats, just chopping everything up and putting it into, putting it all back together.
Yeah.
Because the way this one is, it's I think it'd be very hard to do a part 2.
Yeah, this one's kind of hard to follow up, especially with, there's a lot of, I've seen some videos floating around of him working on this one in the studio, so a lot of this was already his vision. So coming in, messing with someone else's art, I don't see how you could really follow this up. It would be hard. But I also don't know how opposed I would be to it. I guess it really depends on how they handle it, because you can see some artists, their vaults are kind of being milked, and it just sometimes it's not a good look.
Oh, exactly. And then there's a reason why some songs were in the vault.
Yeah.
And for it to come out, and it's just like
it's not a real representation of what they wanted to do.
Exactly. Like this could have been just some like a beat we were just screwing around on, and it's made a stupid verse, and then now it's on my album.
And I do think that's why I held this one pretty high regards for this year of releases was with a lot of it being a posthumous album. I mean, it felt pretty polished. So I would be interested to know how much he
Yeah.
finished before passing away. I think that'd be some really good info to know, but I don't know if we'd ever find that out.
I would take a guess. I would say at least, I would say 8 of the songs were intentionally supposed to be in here.
Yeah, I could see that. There were some pretty short ones that kind of felt like not full-fledged ideas, So I
Yeah.
could definitely see that. How much of like his previous stuff have you heard?
Not even that much. Um, Mostly just listen to like the random singles that were out, and the ones that everybody listened to.
Yeah,
And I was just kind of like just sitting there waiting for him to rise up. Like I wouldn't say get better, but like get bigger.
yeah,
So I was just steady watching him. I wasn't looking back to his other stuff. I was just seeing where he was going forward. And that's usually how I do for most artists. Is like unless like I really, really, really like them, I will look at their back stuff. I like Pop Smoke and all that, but I mean, my favorite rapper is MF Doom. So obviously, like unless you can like give me something like MF Doom or Earl Sweatshirt, then I'll start looking at what you got before then.
yeah. And this definitely was not in
But
the
those are two
MF Doom
different.
vein. This was
Exactly, but they're different kind of rappers.
yeah,
So I'm not saying that one's better than the other one. It's all opinionated. Um, but just the way that Pop Smoke gets with me, I love his music and I like what he's done. But I just want to see him move forward. I want to see what he's done back, especially because he hasn't really been out for too long as far as like in the limelight itself. I mean, rapping,
don't
he's probably
think
been out for a long time.
I think I read somewhere that he only started making music like in late 2018. Like he's only been making music for like a
Yeah.
year and a half. And if that's true, if he's only been making music in a year and a half, and we got this,
That's true.
like we're really gonna miss Pop.
I mean, honestly, if that's true, then man, I'm telling you, in the matter of in the span of 2 years, this is a lot of progress as
Yeah.
far as an individual.
Yeah, I mean, I you hardly ever see progress in a rapper. You don't see them change that much in a year and a half. To go from putting
Exactly,
out,
exactly.
your underground style drill beats to an album like this. This is pretty crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I could definitely see him as a radio regular.
Hmm.
Definitely. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of these songs. I mean, I don't have access to like American radio, but I can definitely see that probably some of these songs are going to be just repeat on the radio for a
I
while.
hope so. I mean, you hope so. It's kind of the best way to try to hold up his memory for a little bit. Because I don't.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's hard to listen to some songs because I don't know. I guess just what happened and stuff.
Yeah, man. That's the same thing. That's how I feel with Mac Miller, man. Like, I didn't even get to finish the whole album because it doesn't feel right.
Right. I still haven't even heard Circles or finished Swimming yet because it's kind of hard to listen to like some of their final art.
Exactly. Like, you just want to hold on to it.
Mhm.
But I mean, that's different from this because I haven't really got to, which makes it much more sad, like even sadder because like I didn't get to have a much deeper bond with Pop Smoke's music than I did with Mac Miller because Mac Miller he's been out for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
He's
Like
been
you don't
making
have that
music
same
since
kind of
before
like
we were in high school.
yeah. It's a different kind of
Exactly.
connection. This one's more of just recognizing the potential he had and being sad that we're gonna miss
Mhm.
out on that versus a deep connection we've had with the artist for a while. So it's tough to see. But I do hope this kind of like inspires a new change in music, and maybe we'll see this evolution of style push on with somebody else. So to kind of carry that on.
Exactly. I feel like with this, like for a lot of people who don't like the newer music that's coming out, the quote unquote mumble rap. Pop Smoke was probably for those people. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. I feel like it was a good mix of past music and then leaning towards the future. So it was just like it was all in one. It was just a fusion.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
can
good to
see
see
that.
all of that.
I think you're, yeah, I think that's pretty right. It's a good mix of different styles, some familiar, some new. I'm
Hmm.
interested to see what some people thought about it. Josh, you said you listened to it, right? Like, what did you think? I don't know if PZ if you got a chance to listen to it, but it was some album I tried to play for some people, like try to get them to listen to it, and I don't know. It was a fun listen, like it was probably up there in my 2020 releases. I mean, that's not like too much has come out, but I
Yeah.
do think it was a good one for the year.
I know it's definitely something I'll probably buy on vinyl, and it's definitely the kind of album that I would just do a whole playthrough of,
Hmm.
just like relaxing or chilling or whatever. Just listen to the whole thing. Because
Yeah,
honestly,
for
it kind of
sure.
like feels like a story in itself. Just the way that the emotion, just like you start, just like either getting lit, chilling out, or just like vibing. Like the whole album just kind of like changes throughout, and throughout all of that, Pop Smoke doesn't change who he is throughout this whole thing.
Hmm. No, yeah, I agree, and definitely owning it, you know, physical and being able to just kind of like keep that pocket of time is pretty nice. Just go through the album. Cause you're right, it's
Yeah,
its
yeah,
own little
yeah.
story in its own, for sure. And I feel like that was a pretty quick wrap up of the album. I say I didn't have too much to say on it. I liked it. I don't really have too much negative to say about it. Especially,
Yeah.
it's hard to put too much negativity in someone's album after they passed on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as far as I mean, 20 songs, and then plus we're getting another some more on deluxe. For me, it takes me because most albums are like 10, 12 songs, maybe. I mean, with most of them have been most albums have been out like with even less numbers than that.
Hmm.
So it takes me quite a while just to get everything. Once I start learning the lyrics of the song without even trying, that's when I start putting in like, hey, like this is how I can get a true like I can give you an hour long like special about what I feel about this.
Yeah.
As far as right now, I haven't been able to get the time to like just milk it because it needs to come natural. I can't force myself to listen to this
No, yeah,
and give
you're
like
right.
an exact. Hmm.
I think it was long as like 19 songs. I think it topped out at like 56 minutes, which is long, but I've heard longer albums, and after a while, some albums kind of
Yeah.
drag on. I didn't really get that with this one, so I think it is because some of the songs are pretty short. So I will be interested in the deluxe edition and sitting with it for a little bit longer to see kind of how it. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's only been out for a week. I
Hmm.
can't be too harsh on it too yet or praise it too much. Because we've barely had it. I don't want to rush to
Yep.
give it a good rating or to even say it's bad because yeah, it's hard to do that with such a little time. But I have enjoyed it so far. I've played it
Yeah.
a few times this week. I try to play it, driving or if I'm in the house or doing stuff outside. So it's fit. I like it. I'll sit with it a little longer. And, hopefully if we hear anything more from him after the deluxe, hopefully it'll still sound good. Hopefully the deluxe will sound good. That's 8 songs. That's almost a whole
Yeah.
other album.
I was just thinking that like this is like I'm a little worried like these extra songs in the deluxe are they just so they can make a deluxe or is it because like these songs are actually fire as hell and they just wanted to make it they're like we can't leave this out because we already have 19 songs we can't just make make it 27 right now, you
Right.
know.
Hey, not story. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. I mean, even there's already drama with the deluxe album with the Pusha T Young Thug track. Uh, Apparently, Young Thug
Yeah.
was upset that Pusha T put in some diss bars on that. I don't know. I think it would have been a little interesting to hear, but I don't know. I guess it's also
Yeah.
not the place for it. I don't know.
I definitely don't think it's the place to put your deaths on there
I just would
personally,
wonder
because like,
if the disc bars were before Pops passed. That's one thing, you know.
oh, then
But if he laid
yeah,
it
I don't
after
think
he
anybody
passed
would really
away,
care.
you know, that's also another thing. So I think that also
Yeah,
adds
because
towards
this
like the timing.
this is his album, like this is for him. This is what we're gonna have to remember him by, and it just seems kind of selfish to put your own personal like stuff inside of it.
Yeah, and especially if you're not like, because Young Thug claims he didn't know about it. Especially with him being friends with Drake, it would be kind of crappy to not tell the person you're on a song with that it's dissing. You know, I don't know. It's kind of weird
Yeah, yeah,
drama,
yeah.
but I'm still interested in the deluxe. Hopefully it holds up. I guess we'll find out. I think it said it comes out on the 20th. Is when it's supposed to come out.
Yeah.
So probably revisit the album then and see if I still like it and the deluxe tracks. Yeah, yeah, and hopefully anything else new we hear from him after that still lives up to this, because this was a pretty good album, you know, especially a debut album. Most people don't even have a good album as this.
Oh no, absolutely not.
So yeah, I think for like future streams or discussions we might do, I think I would want to stick with like albums that have been out for a little bit longer. That way I can kind of like, I feel like it's easier to talk about an album we've had for a lot longer to see how it's kind of aged with us. And I'm not talking like years and
Oh yeah.
years, but even just a couple months, because music, my taste can, it can change in a week, a couple weeks, you know. Something I may hold up high now is I may not like as much a month from now or whatever, you know. So hopefully if we keep doing this, we'll be able to find albums we can expound on longer and more in depth. Because, like we said, you know, Pop wasn't around too long, so I don't really know much of his personal history. I don't have a deep interpersonal bond with his music, so I can't really go into how much, like, oh, I love Pop or whatever. Juices comes out today. Yeah, it does. I don't know if I can stream that soon because, like I said with this one, like it's only been a week with this one, and I kind of want to give music a little more time to talk about it. But I would think about it because I did like a lot of Juice WRLD's music, so I think we could talk about it at some point for sure, or even visit some of his old music because he had some pretty good albums. But yeah, we'll keep that one in mind for sure. Because I think next week we're going to try to do a 070 Shakes album. I believe it's called Modus Vivendi. Let me just double check
Yeah.
that. That was another good album that came. Yeah, Modus Vivendi by 070 Shake. We're going to try to do that next week. I really enjoyed that one, so I'd like to talk about that. It's not really rap. It's more, I guess, R&B-ish, pop-ish,
Yeah, R&B.
pop R&B. Yeah. But yeah. Is there anything else you want to add?
Uh, not really. We're still gonna keep looking at the scope, what comes out and everything. Definitely hard because I feel like if we keep going on with this next year, there's gonna be a lot of music coming out. I can feel already,
Yeah,
and especially
especially
because we're not going
after.
just
Sorry,
yeah. No, you're good.
I'll say yeah, especially after hopefully if this whole pandemic stuff ends, people will be putting out music because I really mess with a lot of people's releases. You know, your upcoming artists aren't able to put as much out because typically you want to do promotion and tour with an album. So it kind of puts a hold on a
Yeah,
lot of people's music. So we really haven't seen that much this year. Hopefully we'll still get our bigger releases, you know. So hopefully we'll get some good stuff this year. But I guess we'll find out, huh?
yeah. Oh, and one thing, what did you think about Virgil Abloh's
Oh, jeez.
take on the?
Oh
Can we
man.
talk about that for a minute?
Okay, so if
I
anyone doesn't
could.
know, Virgil Abloh, the creative director of Louis Vuitton, he helped start like Off-White, or I think he is a creator of Off-White. Uh,
Yes,
Pop
yes.
Smoke had wanted him to do the cover art for his album, and the cover art they did was trash. It was. It looked like he took like
It's
the
not good.
first Google image result of Pop Smoke and just like terribly photoshopped it. And then on top of that, wasn't it like stolen or something? Like it wasn't even his.
Yeah, I think it was. It looked like he just went on Google, typed in PNG, and then just dragged and dropped everything in
Oh
front of a picture
God.
of Pop Smoke. Did not look too good. And of course, in the heat that Virgil has been since the past month,
Yeah.
everybody was flaming him.
I
It's
gotta
kind
say,
of nice to see, but it was kind
deservedly
of sad to
so.
see because people would
Like,
just go hard.
yeah. I mean, I don't see how you put seemingly that low of effort into that kind of cover art and not expect a backlash.
I think I think he was trying to go like a minimalistic, but it didn't. I don't know. It didn't seem right.
Let me
The
see if
whole
I can
thing didn't
pull it
seem
up
right.
so I can show it off. Because it was pretty rough, you know? Uh,
Yeah.
it reminded me of like, you know, the old Walmart like airbrushes, but not even good. Like,
Yeah.
it was just, it's, it was
Looked like a
just bad.
knockoff of the airbrushes.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah. Let me pull this up on my screen here.
I don't know. I feel like maybe he was trying to put his little off-white twist on it and try to do like a deconstructed look. I don't know. I just want to. In my mind, I'm trying to figure out what was he trying to do. Trying to. Yeah, dude. It doesn't even look right.
No,
Honestly,
it looks pretty
especially with
rough.
the barbed
That
wire.
barbed wire. Yeah. I mean, honestly, even the final cover art is really not all that. Like, it looks great compared to what we almost got, but
Yeah, it's whatever, but it's subtle. Like I think it means a lot, just
I
with the
f-
all black and then the rose and everything. It kind of like means something, Like
yeah, it's simple, it's
that's a
nice,
good minimalistic,
but I feel like cover
but
art is. I'm not gonna say it's as important as your actual content, but for some it could be, close to important as what you actually have in the album. Like, it's what people see when they pull up your album. If
honestly, I feel like it depends on the album itself, what the album means. So for this means a big deal, and
I
it depends on what the kind of artist is too.
I think one of my big ones recently was the whole Griselda crew. Like, they had fire cover art this whole time, and then I think West Side Gun is the first one to have a not so good cover art with his newest one. And
Oh, Fly God is an awesome god too.
yeah, the cover art's kind of
Yeah,
it's basic and a
yeah,
letdown compared to their previous work. So
yeah. I'm not really into it. It's whatever, but like maybe just him trying to make sure people know it's him.
yeah, that's true.
Instead of it just being Griselda. I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure what.
Because most of their music sounds kind of the same,
Mhm.
which is not bad because it's like I don't know. All their music could literally be on one album. I wouldn't even notice the difference. But I think this was him at least trying to make an effort and at least being different from what he's done before. If the only thing he's going to do different is make a different kind of album cover,
Mhm.
I mean, it's progress, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't know, because even the cover art was not the only thing that's kind of botched in this Pop Smoke thing. I don't know if you saw the whole V-Lone thing with the merch. Apparently, they had like a V-Lone collab deal set up for the album merch, but the V-Lone merch art was stolen from some other like website. So even then, that wasn't. Everything outside of the album has seemed to kind of not gone as smooth,
Yeah.
and that's
I'm
pretty
I'm not going to say
disappointing,
I'm surprised about that either.
No, because I
Yeah.
feel like when you get talks of posthumous albums, you do have people who are trying to take advantage of that. And I think some of this
Hmm.
was just rushed to maybe try to cash in on you know,
Yeah, they just
the
try to be
pops worked out.
the
Yeah,
first one out there.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's really sad to see because, especially with it being a pretty good album, like this didn't have to be like this. So it is disappointing. I wish it did get handled better. I hope to see good deluxe tracks, and I'll be interested to see what happens. I did order the vinyl,
Yep.
so I'm excited for that. I just like owning, the physical, so that was nice. Yeah, that's pretty much really all I have to say on the album, to be honest.
Yeah, same here.
I appreciate everyone tuning in. It's kind of a short one, but thanks for taking time to come hang out. Thanks to all the follows, to Not
Appreciate it,
Story,
appreciate it.
Spartan J20, Jesus, and Drown With It. Appreciate all the follows. We'll try to come back next week, like I said, with the 070 Shake album, Modus Vivendi. We'll try to talk a little bit more about that one next week. Yeah, hope to see you.